Hello, welcome to Fresh Death Comics, the podcast. We're back with another episode. I'm your host, B. Luke. I have Amy joining me. Hello, Amy.
Hello, B. Luke. I almost want to call this the Rundown After Dark or something like that.
It does, because we are doing this on Wednesday night. We just got done watching Secret Invasion, and
Literally.
I feel after last episode, we got to keep on talking about it, because I got so many questions and
I
feelings,
know.
so we figured why not talk about some things that happened we didn't talk about last time. We have the video games that there's some directs for this past month. There were some video game directs.
Past couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah, and we didn't get a chance to talk about them. There's comic books that we really want to talk about. So figured why not talk about Secret Invasion, talk about all these things. So you guys are getting another episode after another week. That's pretty awesome.
Yes, for real. Be lucky. I'm kidding. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate every single one of you.
I find it exciting. It's something we used to do back in the day, record every week and get the episodes out, and it feels like we're always almost getting back into our old groove.
Yeah, it
Usually
feels
there's
good.
like a month between episodes, and this time there's not. So
Well, it is so much easier when we literally go from watching Secret Invasion and go, well, that's over. Or we just trot downstairs to our little studio and just hit record, essentially.
should we start out with Secret Invasion?
I mean, it is very fresh.
All right, so we watched the second issue of Secret Invasion. We have thoughts, feelings. If you guys haven't watched it, make sure you do, because we will be spoiling it. So we take off directly where the last episode ended. It was Kobe Smulders who died, I guess.
It was Kobe Smulders.
But I'll be honest with
Maria-
you, we didn't
Maria
see
Hill.
her death. We saw her lay down.
We
and
saw
like,
her
I got
bleed
shot.
out.
We,
Yeah.
s- we didn't see her die. You can bleed out, but not die. So I
Can you?
want to say she might be still alive. No body, no death.
You didn't see a corpse in the
I didn't
coffin.
see a corpse in the coffin.
There ain't no corpse in the coffin. That's an old timey tune. They used to sing.
I
like
know.
this.
I've been getting a lot of flack. I hated the last
Oh
episode.
yeah, you hated the first episode, and I was like, I like it, and you're just like, I hate everything.
So what about this time?
This time, I actually kind of sided with you. I thought it was a little slower paced this episode. I feel like the reveals of certain information was a little slow.
A little slow.
Yeah.
So there's aspects I really liked. Samuel L. Jackson was on fire. I thought his scenes, like the train scene with him and Ben Mendelsohn,
Yes.
that was cool. Where he's like asking those questions, like, tell me something I don't know. And I
About
love how
the
he tells the
SKRULL
story.
invasion. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, tell me something I don't know. And like he told this whole story about like, hey, I know if you're bullshitting me because I know what bullshit tastes like.
Yeah.
So don't bullshit me, or you're telling me what I need to know. And I really like that scene. That was probably my favorite scene so far.
Agreed. And then Nick Fury, literally learning that there are millions of Skrulls on the planet. That he didn't know about all of them. He thought he knew about all of them.
But we've
He
only
did
seen
not.
like a
A
dozen.
fraction.
Now, I don't know if there's a COVID thing and they're like, this is the most people we can get on set. Because at no time am I feeling we are being invaded. I'm more afraid of Trump supporters causing another coup and a riot in this country than I am of the Skrull invasion.
Why is that so true, though?
Like, I feel like, man, those real diehard, like, I don't know who's a Trump supporter, who's not, like, who this is, and that's what you're supposed to feel like, and I don't get this. I go, oh, they're just these militia people, and there's a few people in the diplomatic areas of life where they can control, like, they have the media, they've got the prime minister, they've got different countries under their control, but
Including Shooter McGavin.
yeah, that was cool. Like, Shooter is in it, and I'm like, all right, cool.
And
but
then I'm like, oh, this is basically like Bill O'Reilly, like, having been a Skrull.
but why
the
didn't
whole
we
time.
see him the whole entire time? Like, this is something where you can tell they didn't think about this show
Long
ahead of time.
term, yes.
Like, on the news reports. Like,
Mhm.
in the first Avengers movies, when we had a reporter talking on the streets, and when the Stanley cameo is.
Yep.
Like, they are falling from the sky. This is crazy. And then the anchor had moved up in the world and was now like the head anchor, because that's how it works. in the
National
news. Yeah,
news, yeah.
national news. They did it. That's where I don't feel like no one's invaded. Like the soup. Like there's a conversation between Rhodey and Samuel Jackson, and I was bored. I didn't get that.
The best
At
part was
no
literally.
point did I feel like Rhodey had any control.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like he's like, I'm gonna fire you,
Absolutely
and I'm
not.
like, bullshit. Like where's Ashton Kutcher?
Yeah,
I
because
was
I am
waiting.
getting punked.
Yeah, or I was waiting for him to turn into a scroll because I was like, there's no way you're talking to Fury that way.
Absolutely.
Now the end
Absolutely.
credit. Now the end scene, if you will.
Yes.
We got this scroll lady cutting up some veggies, making dinner, and Samuel Jackson comes walking through. And we're like, oh man, is he gonna confront this scroll? And all of a sudden, the scroll changes into this woman. Samuel Jackson embraces her. They hug and kiss, and I don't know. Is she been invaded? Or did he marry a scroll? And I that's where my question is.
Yes.
And I don't think that's a good question to leave me on. I think that's a terrible, because I know I'm going to get the answer.
Yeah.
Why bother even talking about it? But at the same time, why leave me with this stupid question? It's a stupid cliffhanger.
I agree. And I mean, technically, well, no, not even technically. Actually, we didn't get our question of if, I never remember his fucking name.
Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman's, yeah, no, I remember Martin Freeman. I never remember his character's name.
Well, I don't remember his character's name. You're looking at calling Martin Freeman because I so much want to be like, oh, Frodo or Watson or Jim.
I know, right?
It's
He
like
wasn't even in that
Martin
version.
Freeman is just Martin Freeman now. Whatever he plays,
Martin
it's
Freeman is Martin Freeman always.
yeah, it's almost like Nicolas Cage in a way.
Yes.
He's the British Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god, he really is. I think that's the name of the episode.
I just don't like. So yeah, we didn't get an answer for Martin Freeman. We didn't get an answer for anything. Like
Except
was
for
this guy- oh,
Maria.
yeah, so-
we got an answer for Maria Hill.
So with Fury and Rhodes' conversation about the superheroes, and they're like, "Well, about the superheroes, this is what makes me mad because I think they jumped the gun because the Super Skrulls were invented when the Skrulls invaded and they fought the Fantastic Four, and that's kind of where the Super Skrull, where he could morph into superheroes.
Okay.
They developed they I forgot exactly what it was, but they were able to they experimented on a Skrull, and he was able to mutate and gain the powers as he mutates.
Okay.
And that's kind of what the Secret Invasion is now since they learned how to copy the abilities when they become the person, now the next level is now you don't even know who's a Skrull, who's not, because now they have your memories. I am getting none of that. The fact that Martin Freeman, has he been a Skrull the whole time, and I'm like, I'm really hoping so, or else this show is bullshit, is kind of my answer. And I'm getting angry because I want to see superheroes who are Skrulls. I want to see somebody who actually matters to anything I've watched in the Marvel Universe as a Skrull. I'm not getting that.
You know, I totally agree with you on this, actually. I do feel like this is a plot line that definitely could have been weaved through the MCU a little better. Not even that far into the past of the MCU. These Disney Plus shows haven't even been around that long. Right? It's only been in the last year and a half that they've even been out.
Loki
so
was the first
why
one.
not even go ahead? No, WandaVision was.
Touche.
And I feel like I know that there would have been some sort of a news report or something about the town that Wanda was holding captive. I mean, they could have. There's so many routes that they could have taken about I'm gonna keep calling him Shooter McGavin, but Shooter McGavin to, be that media head in the background. They definitely could have done a better job, and I feel like they're just doing patchwork jobs at this point to
they're
cover their asses to
they're
be like, this has
retconning
been here the whole time. Yes,
They're retconning everything.
Yes.
Because they didn't think about it before time.
Yeah.
We talked about it last episode about how long it was since Secret Invasion was out. It's been out for many, many years. It was out before the Marvel movies were really out. I think Iron Man was going to theaters at that time.
Okay.
Secret Invasion was in theaters.
Yes.
Or maybe Iron Man 2. I know it might have taken some time of oh, we don't want to do this. But when Kevin Feige had the control after Infinity, he could have started adding like scrolls and some evidence of like, hey, this character's acting different. And maybe at the end of WandaVision, like, I'm just getting nothing and I'm upset.
Because we know you can do better, Marvel. You can do better.
You can. So
Don't rest on your laurels, Marvel. Come on.
I was really I got all excited. I really wanted to like the second episode because the train ride was winning me over.
Yes.
I was like, ooh.
Oh, and not to go back to that conversation for a third time, but I'm going to go back to that conversation for a third time. That exchange between Rhodey and Fury
Yeah.
about, that men like us don't get to the places that we get.
Oh yeah. That was powerful.
Just
There
to have
are
these two powerhouses.
there are conversations I like in this. So I don't. It's not all bad. I think Samuel L. Jackson, when he is doing one-on-ones with people, like the conversations with one-on-one with him and Rhodey and him and Ben Mendelsohn, though that's where the show it shines, I guess. And
Yes.
I'm the most
I'd
entertained.
agree.
That's just me enjoying Samuel L. Jackson's acting. And I could watch a movie if I wanted to get that. And it's
Correct.
I'm not getting anything new. And everyone can do better. And I don't know. The third episode, who cares if it comes out or not? Though they're here. But
Yeah.
if no superhero, nothing. It just makes me upset.
Can I pose this question to you? Do you think this should have been a film instead? Or do you think that this is something that needed a 6, 8, 10 part episode?
The way it's going right now, no, it's all filler. The movie could literally be the train scene, Rhodey, and then them showing the camps and what they're doing. Like, that's all we really know. That's really the only story we have. The story is so weak. You tighten it together, you could have made a movie. There's nothing, but the only problem is the movie probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Why do you say that then?
Because the movies all kind of connect to each other, except for the Eternals right now, but he said there's going to. But, like, all the movies connect. If this movie doesn't connect to the rest of the universe, but then again, it's Samuel L. Jackson. They basically did last time on Captain Marvel in the beginning of this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the
Oh,
first half of this
1000%.
movie was about Captain Marvel. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that movie. Good thing I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I know.
That was basically the whole movie.
Yeah. This is this whole episode right here.
So, no, I agree. I think it would work as a movie, but I don't think there's anything to draw the seats to the crowd of, like, the movie.
Not at this point. I agree with you. We've had like a few tastes of teasers of stories, but after 2 whole episodes, like I can't tell you more information or facts than I have fingers on one hand.
Yeah, so I guess we should be back for next week and see what happens for this third episode. Maybe things get better. I really want to root for this because I love the comics so much. And the more I was watching it, the more I was like, I think I just want to read the comic because it's so much better. Like,
yeah, from what
the
you've told.
tensions, and I want everyone just to read the comic instead.
Yeah, from what you've said so far, I'm on board with that. So prepare to be disappointed next week, P. Luke.
I don't want to be. Want to enjoy it.
But moving on, P. Luke, we have another week of the rundown behind us.
We do. We've made it through a quarter of episodes now. We almost have 100 episodes.
Yeah, we did the math the other day, and I think it was like 74 or 75.
Yeah, we're right near that. That's when you put it all together, I'm like, wow, I can't believe it's that many episodes. But also how many comics we've read.
Oh my god, I don't want to think about it. Like, that almost scares me.
So
Because I'm gonna be like, I don't know if I remember that one.
So needless to say, since the shows began, we will start with first issues, and now a lot of the series are coming to an end of arcs and stuff. So it's kind of been fun to be on this journey, like Captain America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tell me about Captain America.
I have not read Captain America since he was a Nazi, since Nick Spencer did the Hail Hydra event, and I was like, whoa, because I really like Nick Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great writer. He did this book called The Fix, which is just amazing. It's about these detectives, and there's this dog, and there's drug. I can't. I'm gonna get off topic. So anyway, he made him a Nazi, and
Yeah.
I didn't really like it. It just that was the whole appeal of like, oh, he has these memories, and he would like do things, and I was like, no, I'm not digging this. This isn't my jam. And that was kind of the last time I really read Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And then this whole Simple Truth came out, and I tried reading it again because I always jump on the first issue because I'm like, want to like Captain America. I feel like it's my patriotic duty to like Captain America. Like,
Maybe
what kind
I'll-
of asshole doesn't like? I read comic books. I read all these comics, and you're like Captain America. I'm like, nah, I don't read that guy. How do you not read? He's American. You not American? So I feel like I have to read it, but every time
No,
I do, I'm
eh?
like, this is bad.
I ain't American, eh?
Better.
Better. We've also been watching too much Letterkenny, which
So-
sidebar did get better, and that's all I'll say about that.
Some of the truth. I started it, and it just you have to get both Captain America the book, Symbol of Truth, and Shield of Sentinel. I think it is the two.
Sentinel
Because
of
they
Truth?
Sentinel of Truth. They kind of
Okay.
went together, even though they were separate journeys. And I was like, it's not that interesting. Like it would just progress so slowly. I was not a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had this Cold War event where Bucky's a bad guy, and I have just been hooked this whole time reading it.
Really?
Yeah, I was really interested, and then it ends exactly how I think it's gonna end, where nothing really matters, and like Bucky turned out he was a good guy the whole time. He just was on the bad guy's side so he could trick the bad guy at the last moment.
Fine.
It was really dumb. And I was like, this is
So this has no impact on anything.
no impact in anything.
I could have
and
skipped watching or reading this.
I could have, and that's what upsets me. I'm like, I'm okay. They suckered me in, and it's the big Captain America issue. It's the big
It was Captain America issue 750.
yeah. It comes out in I think a couple of weeks. So this Captain America issue literally was a party. He walked in and he was like talking to friends, and it was just him chilling. And I've never read an issue where nothing happens. They're just chilling. It was like a party issue, and I was just like, this is outrageous.
That's funny because it wasn't, because I mentioned when they ended Captain Marvel that they had a party and like Jeff the Shark was there last week. So I feel like maybe they're just trying to slip in as many parties, or just everybody gets a party when your run ends, I guess.
We're just well, you read Thor. Thor ended. They didn't have a party for Thor, did they?
I didn't read Thor.
Oh, I read Thor.
You read Thor. Why you ask yourself that question?
I didn't. I actually didn't read Thor. I just saw it was the origin of Hela, and I went with it because once Donny Cates left the book,
You went
and then
nope.
Ryan Otley left the book, it was just
Retcon.
no. It wasn't even retcon. It was just they're doing stories that didn't feel like when you have a Reese's peanut butter cup. And then someone gets you the off-brand dollar store version of a Reese's peanut butter cup and you eat it. There is a big difference. And when you switch it to me mid-eating, it's very jarring and disturbing, and I can't get past it. So I had a very hard time reading it.
Fair analogy.
Because I can tell, because Vanish ended this week, and I can tell that, like, Donny Cates kind of is, his influence isn't on the book like it was.
Mm-hmm.
There's something off, and I can't tell you what it is, but there was something off about these last couple of issues. Like, it was really good, and then it just...
Things were brought up that weren't addressed again.
Yeah, it wasn't addressed, or things weren't like... There was a lot of, like, weirdness going on. Like, I couldn't... Going from book to book, like, I want to reread it, because it doesn't... Like, it just... They
like
jump
Kate's
in
hadn't
time.
really fully.
Yeah, they jumped in time in certain times and jumped back, and sometimes you're in the mind fighting, and what was real and what wasn't, and... Like, maybe I just need to read it together as a whole story, but it just felt Like the
I
last couple
don't.
issues felt
I'll
disconjected
be
to me.
honest. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be any clearer if you go back and read it, bub.
I know, and that's what makes me sad
I
because I'm just
know,
like,
because
what
it's. I know
happened?
it's your two favorites, and I know you are heartbroken about that.
But here's the thing: Ryan Stegman wasn't even doing the art. He was doing. He did breakdowns. So they had VK Marion coming doing the art, which I liked VK.
But it's not
But
the same as Stegman.
that's like making grilled cheese sandwich and not using Velveeta, and you use American. Like, and I really expected Velveeta. Speaking of which, can we have grilled cheese after this?
This was all just a big giant ploy for grilled
I
cheese.
love amazing grilled cheese sandwiches.
Oh, do
Oh,
I?
I need to talk louder. I just saw the lines. I'm just like, oh, I'm mumbling. So no, so Vanish makes me really sad, and I don't know if there's going to be another issue. Like, there's nothing in the book stating like we'll be back or taking a little break. There's no letter column. There's nothing at the end of this book
Oh my
other
God.
than volume 2 of the trade is coming out in September. Speaking of ending of books, you were really determined to talk about Blue Book on the show. You're like, I have made some room for this. I need to talk about Blue Book. Don't judge me how long it is.
Yes, essentially. Mostly because I have been reading this series the whole time, and I talk about it on the run. Well, talked about it on the rundown past tense because we're done now. Because it did conclude this week. It is James Tynion, and honestly, I think this is the first full James Tynion story that I've really read.
Okay.
Now I will say that just let me backtrack real quick. Blue Book is about Betty and Barney, this couple where they are traveling home after a vacation from Canada. And on their way back, they get abducted by aliens, or at least they think so. It's them trying to figure out, did this really happen? Didn't it? And this is all based on an actual historic event. Like this isn't bullshit. In this last issue, Carl Sagan ended up talking about and disputing that like this instance is the details of this instance of abduction could not happen in this one universe that another person came in to substantiate evidence on. Like it is really cool that this is based more in reality, like that it's not just some Jim Bob farmer like the stories and the tropes that we've heard before. It's a different kind of abduction and set during the 50s, you know, with everybody being so hyper aware about A, communism, and B, just anything outside of the normal cookie cutter everything.
I
It's
went to area.
51, yes.
Yeah, I went there, and I gotta say, there was no aliens. I didn't meet anything. I didn't have any kind of out of control thing, unless Hans has been taken over by aliens. That's the only thing that might have happened.
Is Hans a scroll?
Hans has been a scroll. He got replaced when I was at the rave. He was
It's
taking.
been Martin
He
Freeman
wasn't
the whole
taking
time.
a nap. He got kidnapped, and then my best friend is now a scroll.
He's a pod person now.
My best friend's a scroll.
He is.
That is more.
Well, that would
believable.
make him.
That's more believable and more scary to me than Secret Invasion is
No.
the show. That's
God.
what's even scarier. My fictitious thing is like, man, what if Hans is an alien? He got kidnapped. I mean, we didn't watch him the whole time. Or what if Hans thinks that of me? What if I'm an alien and I don't know I'm an alien? I'm like one of those secret aliens.
Oh, like you don't say say
Yeah,
a
Manchurian
pass,
candidate.
yeah, a pass phrase, and everything comes flooding back to you.
And I'm like, because, I mean, it's easy for me. You got a brain injury. Things are a little bit tougher
Yeah, that's
for
true.
me. People I don't remember,
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
like, that's easy enough to explain away.
Yeah.
Oh, man, am I an alien? That
Yes.
would be wild. So, as a writer, do you like James Tynion? Do you want to read more of his? I mean, you read.
I'm
a lot of
already
books.
reading some
I-
of his because
oh, you
he's
are.
doing the Glass House, Sandman Universe Glass House,
Yup.
and I think we're on issue 3 or 4 at
I
this
don't.
point.
I enjoy his mind and like some of the weird stuff, like something killing the children, is outrageous and great.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying. Oh, World Tree. That has been a book that I got it. I'm getting it from Corning, so I have
Hmm.
like I don't own it yet. I've just been reading it when it came in here because I was like, I wonder if this is a good book. Hopefully it is. And I'm like, dang, this is really good. Like this whole there's this secret website, like the dark web,
The
and if
dark
you
web.
look at if you look at it, it like shows you the future and like your brain can't handle it, so it's just like shutting down and people can put subliminal messages in there so it makes you go and like kill people or go
Ooh,
crazy. And there's this nude assassin girl and I'm just trying to figure out like why is she nude? And it's
that is a question. Yes.
she's in the house and she's like setting things on fire and picking up things and I'm like, man, like I don't like walking around my house nude as it is. Like this is like and she is very wee like almost
Now, on that note, listeners, you may not know this, but B. Luke had written something else in that script.
I did.
Would you like to share with the class?
I wrote a thing of like, man, if I saw you naked, I would want to be shot or have my eyes taken out.
This is what he wanted me to say.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
And I was reading it.
It's funny at my expense. If I write a joke at myself that I'm having you read, that's not offensive. It's just writing. That's what writing is you tell a story and you make a bit and a joke and it's just a joke. And I know you don't like it. You're like, no,
No.
no, no, I'm not saying anything mean.
No.
Like you're something different about calling the person you love. Like you want to burn your eyes out if you see them.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what book I wanted to talk about last week, but didn't get a chance to because I wanted you to read it, but you just didn't get a chance to. So I thought we'd just talk about it.
All right.
Is this whole Robert Kirkman's new book, Void Rivals?
Ooh, yes. I forgot to inquire about
Yeah,
that one.
because it came out and I read it and because I was excited. Robert Kirkman, writer of The Walking Dead, like that is cream and butter. He also wrote the Invincible series that's on Amazon that people have been really enjoying, and then his comics are just as good. You have Super Dinosaur. I think they made that into a series, but that book's silly and fun, but that's a little more geared toward kids. So Robert Kirkman bought the rights, the Transformers and G.I. Joe, and is creating this book that's going to combine the two worlds into one.
Like legit G.I. Joe.
Legit
And
G.I. Joe. We're
legit-
talking about Go Cobra and Go Joes. And I don't know a lot about G.I. Joes. I didn't watch it growing up. My dad
All I
My
know
dad
is
wasn't a
pork
big
chop
soldier
sandwiches.
guy, so we never watched G.I. Joe. The only thing I know about G.I. Joe is from Community.
Mhm.
And my friend Jared, he had me watch these PSA announcements from the GI Joes, like
Yeah.
make sure you always have a buddy when you're crossing the streets.
Yeah, they did do a bunch of those.
So those were funny. So I don't. And Robot Chicken. There was a lot of GI Joe with Robot Chicken. So
Yes.
that is my what I know about GI Joes.
Your window, if you will.
And Transformers, I know a little bit. I haven't seen everything of Transformers, but I feel like I know enough to be like, I like it. But getting the books is too much because I don't know what's going. It just seems too confusing in the books.
That's fair.
So I'm like, okay, we're getting a new number one. He's gonna start over. Like this is the time to jump on. And I read it, and I only know that there is like there's this opening scene where it's like the first time you see Optimus, a parody because someone in the shop told me. I would not have known. It wasn't like it was that obvious to me. But then Jetfire appears in it and he's like, I'm Jetfire, yeah. And I thought that was cool. But then the people we meet they weren't GI Joe people, they were alien people. And it seems like G.I. Joe may be more of a concept of aliens than an actual, like, G.I. Joes.
Hmm.
So I'm very confused about that. And I don't know where the book is going, and I want there to be zombies in it. Like I want him to make like this universe where everything's combined. Like maybe this is
Like
after.
his own Massiverse.
Yeah, like maybe this is after The Walking Dead. The Transformers are there, and we can see a thing of like this is Rick Grimesville or Grimesville. This is named after Rick Grimes. He was a great savior of the town back in the when my grandpappy was alive. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like so many years into the future.
Yeah. These kind of Easter eggs.
Yeah, like little mentions, kind of like just little Easter eggs. That's all I want, and that's what I'm hoping to get with this. But this first issue, it was just kind of all over the place.
It sounds it yeah.
I mean, the concept is outrageous. I mean, it's
Yes.
not outrageous; it's been done before, but like to this, I'm just in for the ride at this point. I'm excited.
You're strapped in. You're not really sure what's happening, but you're in for it.
So I will say, with doing the rundown, been reading a lot of comics. There's times where I'm done reading comics.
Oh my god, yeah.
I don't want to see a comic book.
Did you ever think you'd get to that point?
I never thought I'd get to this point where I've always been like, yeah, I'll read everything, give it to me. And now I'm to a point where I'm like, I'm reading books and I'm going, like Daredevil and Echo, that book.
Yup.
I'm kind of bored through it. The art is amazing. Phil Noto is killing it, but I'm not enjoying it. It's just fluff to me. Like it's just not fun to read. I'm not really enjoying
You're
it,
not
and I
enjoying
feel like
it.
I should because they're like doing this past thing with Matt Murdock's ancestors
Mm.
with Tommy Murdock, but I don't know really how. Like it just seems so far fetched. It's an outrageous book. So anyway, I'm done reading comics. Like when it comes like for the next couple of days, I'm like, nope, not touching a comic, not reading
I
any
know.
comic,
I get the
and
same
I
way.
want to play video games. So I've been really into playing video games and like really diving into that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure my eyes love it.
Can confirm. Yeah, I can't wait for your eyes to start bleeding again.
So that only happens when I play retro games.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, when I play retro games, that's why my eyes start bleeding. I don't know what it is with the pixel rates or whatever it is.
Or maybe it's just that your eyes have adjusted to certain like quality.
I don't know, but yeah, those start to bleed and go out. That's why sometimes I have like take a break from playing games. They'll bleed.
Which I had never heard of and freaked me the fuck out.
I like knowing what new games are. I like knowing new games are coming out, and I was like, Amy, these directs are out. The show, we got to wait for the rundown, the upload to the site. Do you want to watch these directs? And you're like, sure. I'll sit down and watch this with you. I got like 10 minutes, and I'm like, haha, it's over an hour.
They're all an hour and a half long.
So,
Except for Nintendo, which is like
which
40
you
minutes.
have a Nintendo Switch,
I do.
and so you've been playing that a lot. And
Yes, I bought a Nintendo Switch at the very beginning of the pandemic.
Halo is one of my favorite games of all time, and I don't think Halo's a good single-player game. I think it's best when you can play co-op. There's just something about you and your buddy defending the universe and fighting. And so I told Amy, I was like, Amy, you gotta get a controller because all mine got damaged.
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, I will eventually. And all of a sudden, you come out of Best Buy one day. You got the biggest smile on your face. And I'm like, what did you do? And you pulled out this controller.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's like this. Oh, it's this real pretty blue, purpley, iridescent, and I was like, I'm gonna wait until I find one that speaks to me. And I was in Best Buy picking up a couple things, including the new Zelda for you.
Which I appreciate. That's a great game.
And I came out and I was like, Brian, I finally have it. Let's play Xbox.
And I was like, yes, we have all these games to play. And I do the Xbox Game Pass because that's kind of the only way I kind of communicate with my brother.
Yeah.
He's so far away, and we both have very busy lives. So like once every couple of weeks, we sit down, we play a game together. And so I have the Game Pass, and I'm like, oh, we also get all these games that Amy and me can play. So here's all these new games, and you were bored for like all of it. I feel.
That is
And like
accurate.
my highlight is like your only highlight was the trailer for Fable because they're remaking
Literally,
Fable and
that was
it's
like the first thing they announced too, I feel.
it was and I was like, man, this game because I love Fable. Fable is cool. You get to make decisions if you're good, if you're bad, and I was really pumped. But everything else kind of was like,
Well, can I share why? I know nothing
yes,
about Fable, didn't know it was game. I like
oh yeah, why you liked it?
yeah, the similarities between like the tech and Richard Iowade from the IT crowd voicing him, and also how fucking freaky accurate that actually looked. I was really blown away by that. And then to find out that he was the giant in this trailer.
Yeah, I I it looked so real.
It did.
So I was excited for that. And then most of it, I think, was just like, oh, if I get to play it for free, whatever.
Yeah.
Flight Simulator was like,
Oh my
I'm not
god.
a simulator person. I don't think I'm that into flying, but my uncle was. Like, my uncle got Flight Simulator. Like, so
Yeah,
he
and
didn't
my
get a lot of
dad
video
got it
games.
too.
Oh,
Like
okay.
dad never got any like that was the only video game he ever played. And
Did he get the joystick? And
yep,
oh, that's what my
he
uncle
got the whole
did.
thing with the throttle and the I don't know what you call it, the directional pad.
Yeah, yeah, the little joysticks and jump pads, and my
Yeah,
uncle had this
and we had
chair.
yeah, oh, we didn't have it in a chair. We had it suction cupped to like a sheet of glass that we had on our computer desk in our living room.
Yeah, so like I remember my uncle playing. He's like, "You can't play this," and he would like play it in front. I was like, "Man, I want to play that. That looks fun."
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like the concept of using those controllers,
yeah.
but like I'm just. I play in Grand Theft Auto. We play video games where I'm in an airplane and I go up. Star Fox, I'm in a plane and I go up, and it kind of feels like the same thing
Yeah.
to me.
Yes.
And then there's new games like No Man's Sky that I'm in space flying. Like I have to shoot off my rockets and go into space and then determine like fly a spacecraft.
Yeah, that it's more than just
I'm like
fly this like it not that it's easy in real life, but like we know that there's probably so many tiny intricacies and like this is why people are professionals. But we get bored. So playing it via Grand Theft Auto style is obviously just going to be more fun. And I get that this was important and how influential this game was, but like why right now?
I
Give the
personally
people what
was
they
excited, and
want.
they did a whole extended trailer and discussion on this on Bathsheba's new project Starfield. So I love Skyrim.
Yes.
Like these guys doing space, it
Yeah.
looks so cool.
You were like salivating when this was happening.
I was like, we need to get everything they're offering because like it looked like I don't like the thing is I don't like Fallout and it looks a little Fallouty, but I think it's just like I'm bad at Fallout. Like I never played any of the other Fallout games before, and I just jumped into this new one, and I'm like dying, and there's cockroaches that attack me, and I'm like, nope, nope, I don't like that. Like there's creepy bugs in this game. Are you familiar with the Fallout games?
Not really.
I could tell by the way you were looking at me. So Fallout is back, so many years ago. The Russians were going to bomb us, and
Like now, got it.
there's all these Fallout shelters, and so you go into this Fallout shelter, and that's where you're supposed to kind of live. You're in these cryogenic, and then when things are better, you'll be released. And different games have different plots. And the newest one, this fourth one, is your son is missing. Like someone stole your son, so you're on the hunt to find your son.
Hmm.
And like this whole atom bomb destroyed everything. So like everything that was up in the surface is all destroyed sometimes. You have this radioactive meter that goes off. Like the game is awesome and I love it, but it's so hard. So
So
I
were you getting
almost
PTSD from the similarity?
a little bit. So like Starfield, I'm nervous that maybe it's just gonna be too hard for me to play, because I'm gonna be like, I don't know what to do. I'm up in space, and I'm like, oh, what's this air meter mean? And I just die. Those are my only highlights from the Xbox showcase. Everything else was just okay. Like I didn't care about Forenza Motorsports. Oh, there was one that you're excited about and you talk about all the time, but I don't know why. Nick Cage.
Oh, well, that's just because he's Nick Cage, and I wasn't expecting him to. First of all, I never expect Nick Cage to be anywhere because that's when you're not going to have Nick Cage there. I feel like if you have a feeling he's elusive, you never know where he's going
Yeah,
to
but
be.
you were so excited, like, oh man, he's gonna be in this game, but you don't even play the game.
Nope.
And you have no interest in playing the game. Like I mentioned, like, oh hey, it's on sale. You want to get it? And you're like, nah.
But isn't he going to be like a DLC?
Yeah, it's just gonna be a DLC.
Yeah.
Which is that's what kind of the whole game is. It's a multiplayer. It's like hide and go seek kind of thing. There's a monster after you. You're trying to hide, and the monster is different. People can choose different skins. So like, there's a
Oh.
Saw one. There's a Jason one. There's the Halloween guy, Mike Myers. I think he has
Forget
one.
so soon.
Like they all have their. So this is just going to be a character you can play as.
Well, now that you explain it that way,
Like I think it's cool that Nick Cage is in a video game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I like it, but I wish it was for like an actual video game that wasn't like
It
this
wasn't
is to me
Fortnite.
this is as important as a Fortnite skin. If Nick Cage is a Fortnite skin, I would be like, yeah, this is awesome, and buy the skin, and that's it.
and
like
be Nick Cage.
there's
always.
there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
We talked about we both have Switches. We had the Nintendo Direct. What are your thoughts about the Direct?
Look, this was my complaint about the Nintendo Direct, I feel, at the same time last year. The thing I am always going into any Direct anymore during this wave is the Mario Kart courses that have been getting released over the last year.
They've done
Right.
a really bad job.
Oh yeah, because I feel like they're like, "Oh, well, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's here." And that's it. You just sometimes
They
it's like
surprise drop.
they surprise drop, or I feel like sometimes they just forget maybe that these dates are coming up, and they're like, "Oh shit, yeah, good thing we got up ready. Just push it out. Just push it out."
But it's just DLC for a game that I don't know what's taking them so long, but we just like Mario Kart a lot.
We like Mario Kart a lot.
And-
We have not gotten a new
Course,
a new game in
I
a
don't-
while.
I don't think we ever will. I mean, everyone says this is Mario Kart numbers, but to me, this is Mario Kart Infinity. Like this is all we're gonna get are these courses that come through. They're gonna add characters. They're gonna add carts. They're gonna add just more stuff to this game. Just make it this DLC content. That's what I think. I don't think we're gonna get the next Mario Kart game
Ever.
ever. I think this is the Mario Kart game.
So they come up with the next version of the Switch, the next
Switch 2.
Yeah.
I-
we don't get a new Mario Kart.
It depends. I feel like if they're gonna do this upgraded Switch, all our game cartridges are gonna be the same. So it's just gonna be backwards compatible. They can just add, new courses to that. Here's the, new directional courses, and make these special courses just for the version of it.
Hmm.
I just,
I mean,
don't
I want
s-
to argue with you about this because I just want more Mario Kart. I
We
just
all want more Mario Kart.
always, but the evidence is stacking up on your side here because during this direct they announced so many more Mario properties that are
So
coming
many
out.
more. And here's the thing, but not Mario game I was really interested in. I mean, the side scroller is hard enough with friends. Like, unless you're with diehard Mario fans who know how to play, Mario can get real hard real fast. And I
yeah.
feel like the games they have out now are perfect for that. So, like, I'm not excited for that Super Mario Wave. Super Mario RPG, I was kind of excited for till I saw the price. That's a full price game. And I was like, I can play this for free on the emulators. I know the graphics aren't as good,
But
but
it's the
it's
same
it's the
thing.
same game. It really is. And so why spend that money for that? The Batman Arkham trilogy, I think I would like to own that physically when it comes out, just because it is. Kevin Conroy did the voice of Batman with him passing away recently. It'd be kind of nice to have a physical copy of him and Mark Hamill's
Yeah,
kind
especially.
of
Yeah,
journey.
I agree.
So I kind of like that, but I mean, I have played both of those games to death. Like all these Arkham games. I haven't played the third one. I just never get there. The second one's just okay, but the first one, Arkham Asylum's great. But like I feel like every time I've played the game, I get like, oh, I'm gonna try for all these achievements and all this, and well, what's left for the game? Like I've
Yeah.
played it. I guess that's my problem with it. Is it's too little, too late. Like if you didn't have a Switch, I guess that'd be cool.
If you
But
yeah, if you were like me and you only had a Switch as a console and that was the only way you could play it, cool, I guess.
Pikmin, they released that basically the whole Pikmin collection is now available, with the fourth one being up for pre-order. I thought that was good, pretty cool. I've always been interested in Pikmin, but I've never played it. So
Okay.
it looks like it's fun.
All right, I don't give a shit about Pikmin.
Why?
It just does not.
You're searching for these little helpers. They're called Pikmin, and you can like tell them to go build a bridge, and they can help you do these things. Like they're kind of cool. They're fun.
I think I've finally pinpointed why I don't like it.
Okay, why?
Because I feel like I'm already a tiny little Pikmin, like little thing running around the world. Like I'm 2 inches tall. Like this is my perspective normally. I think. So everybody's just shrinking down to my level to see what life is like.
I will say Sonic Superstars looked really good.
Yeah, that I'm.
Playing, it's like the Super Mario Brothers adventure there, where everyone gets to play on the screen,
Yeah,
which was pretty cool. I
yeah,
kind of like that. I'm like, you and me could play Sonic together. That's never been done before, and you could actually be Amy.
yeah. If I could play as Amy, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
on it, you're Amy. I'm Sonic. Like that'd be awesome. So overall, I don't. There's a lot of fun games coming out. I think some of it's a little overpriced. I'll wait for sales.
Oh yeah,
Which that's been my new thing. I don't ever buy a game on sale anymore.
or full
Or
price.
I never buy a game full price anymore. I always wait for a sale because there's always a sale.
Yeah,
Like none of these games have been like, oh man, if you don't pick this up today, you will never get it. It's available. Just wait a week. Someone will have it, and then like
yeah. If you're really itching for it, like you can get it and buy it at full price, but like it's still gonna be around.
the only things that have been different are like Pokemon. Pokemon Scarlet had like special Pokemon that was released.
Oh yeah, they had some DLC.
Yeah, the DLC, if you could collect it, if you played before a certain time, you get these Pokemon. That's been cool. But the days of pre ordering are gone. Like, there's no incentive anymore for me to pre order a game,
Nope.
especially with digitally. It'll go on sale and then I'll get it.
Yep. That's it. The end.
So I'm actually working on a video because I've been categorizing all my how long I've played video games, how many hours every
Oh
week.
yeah, you have a whole fucking spreadsheet, Excel sheet monitoring all of your games and all of your purchases.
Correct. So I'm working on a video kind of highlighting like what's actually worth it at what price point because there's some games like Mario Kart we've put in almost 300 hours into that.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting like I look at other people's accounts and I see them with YouTube as one of their highest. They got thousands. I'm like, man, this is just a YouTube machine for you. You don't play games on here. You just watch YouTube.
Which
I,
you
and
can use it
which you can,
for.
and when we go on vacation, that's where like all the movies are.
Yep.
If you're because Voodoo is hooked up now with thanks to movies everywhere, they connected everything. So my YouTube account is hooked up to my Voodoo, so I can watch everything on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's made it super convenient
So
for
we
us.
go somewhere, I just plug in my Switch, and I'm like, all right, we're watching a movie.
Oh, I'm playing Zelda. Now I'm watching Rhett and Link.
And with that, we will close it up for this week. We'll be back next week with our thoughts on Secret Invasion and other comics that we're reading. letting you guys know what's good and what we're not enjoying. So that way, maybe it makes your wallets a little bit lighter.
Yes, there's definitely some books that we do not like.
So we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. So we will see you guys later.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Yay!